Hello and welcome to another Daily Digest video. I am Merriam, and today I am playing a little bit of Standard after a couple modern videos. I am playing with an Abzan Delirium deck. Sort of a classic archetype, but this version is very well prepared, we will say, for Aetherworks Marvel. Got main deck, Druid's Deliverance, Transgress the Mind, uh, just all the cards you could ever want, because that is the matchup that has pushed the more controlling Delirium decks out of the metagame. So this one is really trying hard to answer it, and presumably relying on the strength of the rest of its cards to get by in other matchups. Importantly, this list also plays Renegade Map, has one Herald of Anguish map and tracker to facilitate it. Maps gives you a cheap artifact, so you have as Grimflayer and the 1/1 Death Touch for a green Gnarlwood Dryad. So it's trying to get Delirium more quickly with 4 Cast Out and the White Splash. You can cycle an enchantment into the graveyard. We already see Cast Out, Evolve, and Wild's Renegade Map, so should be a lot easier to get Delirium very quickly, and back it up to some powerful spells. I'm on the play here. This hand looks pretty good. Unfortunately, a lot of our lands enter tapped. I guess that's fine. We can go turn 1 Wilds, turn 2 Blooming Marsh. Alternatively, play turn 1 Marsh Map. But I think maybe playing Map better is first, because we could save Wilds for a potential Tireless Tracker. We do have 4 of them. Yeah, I kind of like that, actually. Let's just play a Blooming Marsh and Renegade Map and really confuse our opponent. And probably get a Swamp with that map. We do have Transgress then to... Ooh, Transgress should be good if we're playing against a control deck, which it appears we are. Another Wilds is not great. But yeah, definitely get a Swamp here. And so I could play Grimflayer, but that makes it vulnerable to Magma Spray. The question is, yeah, with only I can get sorcery. I guess I can get sorcery, enchantment, artifact, land in the graveyard. I can go Transgress this turn. I would have to wait several turns to get the Flare in the graveyard. I don't think that's worth it to try to play around Spray. It also requires me to cycle this Cast Out, which I might not want to do. Just hope they don't spray it. Could Harness Lightning it too now, but by the time I play it as a 4, there's a good chance I have a Huff and can Harness Lightning it anyway. Ugh. Either this is really good for us, or they're just going to spray our thing. They had it. Okay. Calculated risk did not pay off. And now... Now I just want to see what's going on. I'll get a Plains, just so if I want to cycle this Scattered Groves, if I draw some more lands, I have a White Source. I'll Transgress. The Gnarlwood Dryad doesn't mean much. Well, I guess against this hand it would have been pretty good to hold up. And our Transgress is really bad. All 2-mana spells, I guess. So 2 negates, Censor, Pull, and Island Hub. Yeah. Well, we're not off to the best start here. Not at all. Do I want to Transgress again? Probably not. I can hold that and maybe try to tag a Torrential Gearhulk. But I will play Gnarlwood Dryad and an Evolving Wilds. I assume that Censor will get cycled. And here it is. So they have 2 negates and a Pull from Tomorrow and an Aether Hub. Okay, so now still only 2 unknowns. I'm gonna crack this fetch. Get a forest and cycle this land, just more mana efficient. even if it doesn't get me Delirium. Herald of Anguish, interesting. How about I attack you with this Dryad? Surprise, Delirium! I'm gonna wait. Fatal Push is not great. I'm gonna wait on this Transgress until they can cast a Glimmer, or if they have an untapped land next turn, they'll pull for 3 if they want to negate it. Just try to make their mana as awkward as possible. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to Transgress on 2 and then try to resolve a Grimfire later. But if you do that, then you allow Disallow to be a thing. It's just so tough. You really want to get underneath these control decks, in game 1 at least, when you have a lot of dead cards in your hand. Being able to resolve a threat early is very nice. So we still know they have the hub, but we still know 4 out of the 6 cards in their hand. I doubt they pull on this turn for 2. And I don't really want to play this tracker this turn because I don't have a land. So I think I can wait one more turn on the Transgress. If they've drawn a Glimmer, then that's bad for us, but... Okay, there's the hub. I guess maybe now they're at 6 lands, we should have Transgressed last turn because of Torrential Gear Hulk, but they don't have good targets for Hulk, so I'm not that afraid of them playing it. Flare was nice. Mush for 3. Notably, Torrential Gear Hulk is also bad at blocking Gnarlwood Dryad. I will use my my Transgress here to try to force through this Flare or force down a Gear Hulk. Okay, they do negate it. And how about a Grimflayer? You got a Disallow. So now we only know 2 of their remaining 5 cards, negate and pull. And we've successfully delayed this pull for a little bit, and we have significant pressure here. They're going to need to find some red cards. Granted, Grimflayer is dealt with pretty easily by Torrential Gear Hulk. So I need to be wary of it. Too bad these Fatal Pushes don't cycle. That's what that card needs. Cycling. Dissenter's Deliverance would be nice. Another Grimflayer. So we know 2 of their 5 cards. Do I attack with Flare? I don't think I do. I think because I drew another one, I think what I can do is just attack with Dryad this turn, play Flare, and then attack the next turn. Gives me yet another turn to try to find an answer to one. Opponent probably doesn't have Gear Hulk, is looking at us like we're crazy. Probably going to give them exactly enough time to draw what they need. They are pulling here if we don't do anything. But not much we can do about that. I guess maybe I should have attacked with Flare. It's just so bad if they have the Gear Hulk. And they didn't disallow anything. They didn't play Glimmer. They haven't played Harness Lightning. And what else could they have drawn? Just more negates and pulls and sensors. They didn't cycle any of them. More sprays. So there's a pretty small subset of cards that they could have drawn based on how they played the game. But maybe giving them this window is bad. Pull for 4. Yeah, I have 7 mana. Yeah, they can pull for 4, untap, harness something, and then flash it back if they find that. A lot of things that can go wrong here. Discarded their 4th ephemeral. I guess that could have gone wrong either way, but if I get to deal 4 more damage and get a flare trigger, I could find an answer to Gear Hulk, which would be great. I also could have played Tracker last turn too, just to apply more pressure. Maybe I've played this game a little bit too middling, like sort of aggressive, but sort of not, and I needed to pick a lane. I don't feel great right now with facing down a 7-card hand. Especially with my hand of 2 near blanks. The Herald, I think if the game comes to the point where I'm casting Herald, I'm not doing very well. Passing is not really what I wanted to see. I don't know why my opponent's hesitating. What would they be casting on their turn? Sweltering Suns? Do you deal with the Dryad? They could Suns plus Spray and Spray Flare. That would be a pretty good 2-for-2 trade. I would love to see them cast another card draw spell here. Oh, cycle a land? Sure. Now I'm much less afraid of Gear Hulk. Because they can't. None of the spells they're flashing back with it are good. Okay, this is... Now I'm pretty happy. They have 2 removal spells. I mean, that's pretty good. Ooh, Liliana is also pretty good too. So it's kind of awkward if I resolve Grim Flare and then have to activate Lily, but I do want to attack first. I think I can work around that. Either plus the Lily on the first turn or set some bad cards on top and mill them away with the Liliana. Or my opponent can concede. Guess their pull for tomorrow was pretty poor. Okay. Very happy to win game 1 there. When you're a mid-range deck with some dead removal, that is always nice. I've got Scrap Heap Scrounger, which is good. And what else? I don't know. Is this Gear Hulk good to kill their Gear Hulks? I don't really think so. And how good is Sorin? It is better than Herald, I would assume. Now, this Eternal Scourge is probably good. Just another recursive threat. And I guess I can... Should I cut a Deliverance or should I cut a Cast out? Oh, this is 60 cards. I have another Transgress to bring in. I feel like I should just cut the Deliverance. They both cycle. Even though this one's more expensive, it's a different type, which is important. Although I don't really have a lot of instants afterboard. I don't actually want this. No. Maybe I do want the 1 Manglehorn and 2 Deliverance. Basis I can traverse for if I really need to kill a Torrential Gear Hulk. I don't expect a lot of Planeswalkers. I don't actually think I need this card. I do have Cast Out to deal with them too. But I'm a little worried about not having instant in my graveyard. And having cycling on your removal spells is also nice. Still, the versatility of having 1 Manglehorn is cool, and having it in play means that future Gear Hulks can't ambush my creatures. I'll try the 1 Manglehorn. I'm fine with this 60. And now 0 Fatal Pushes in the deck feels a lot better. This is a solid hand. We have this Traverse might end up finding a land, but I will keep. Opponent has also kept. I'm just going to, even though I might want to cycle this later, or might have wanted to, I don't have a lot of lands in my hand. I'd rather get the tapped one into play. Turn 2 hub, interesting. And no red source hand. This thing in the ice. Okay, well, we do still have answers to thing in the ice, so it is not too concerning. Now that our Grimflayer has essentially no hope of getting through, maybe I want to transgress this turn. I do... Yeah, I think I want to transgress this turn. I don't want transgress to get censored. I'm going to Evolving Wilds next turn. Huh. Interesting. I will take the disallow. I think. Will I? If I take disallow, then they have an answer to my Grimflayer. I'll have land, sorcery, creature in my graveyard, which is not enough to traverse for another threat, awkwardly. But I do want to have an answer to that thing in the ice. Yeah, I do. I mean, I can't take Harness Lightning, so that would be the other option. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Take disallow. Let's see if they hit lands. Censor cycle, another thing. Okay, well that's awkward. So this courtyard is going to enter tapped unless I play it this turn. So there's no difference between playing these two. And saving the Evolving Wilds is better if I draw a tracker. So I will just play Grimflayer. It's going to get a little awkward, although my opponent doesn't have a lot of spells. There's a third land. This is them killing my Grimflayer. They just need another land, and then they can Glimmer. I think I need to have all my removal here. Another cast out is fine. Let's cast it now in case they draw a censor, removal, or counter spell. Exile your thing. This could get a little awkward if I just draw a lot of 1-for-1s and then they have all these threats into card advantage. It's almost like they're playing the game I want to play. And here's another land. Good draws out of my opponent here. I'm going to set my stop here and pass the turn and let them resolve their Glimmer without knowing I have the removal spell, and then cast out on it. Let's see what they do on these scries. I imagine they'll be digging for more just lands and answers to buy time to Torrential Gearhulk. Bottom top. Found one they liked. We do have one answer for a Gearhulk. Let's pop this. I have 2 white sources, 3 black sources. Yeah, let's get a forest. We got all green cards in our hand. And we know they have 2 Gearhulks left. Still stuck on 3 types here because we've had to cast all these cast outs. I always seem to get gotten by opposing things, and every time I've played, am I just supposed to leave in all these fatal pushes that are so bad? Does everyone just have 4 thing in the ice in the sideboard of these decks? I don't always see 4. Sure. Still short on Delirium here. And, yeah, that is Gearhulk mana. Not sure what else they're doing. Casting a thing in the ice. Another one. How many things? Well, we know their hand is two Gear Hulks, so let's kill this thing. And we'll probably die to Gear Hulks, but they're just drawing so many threats. Okay. Should I try to cast this out or Manglehorn the first one? I feel like I should Manglehorn the first one. Save this last cast out. Casting Glimmer. Should I leave in a couple Fatal Pushes? This game has just gone very awkwardly. How few threats I've had. Top and top. Well, that's not good. I do think I need to save this cast out. Maybe I should just have some grasps in my deck, because they can help against Torrential Gear Hulk too. Ugh. Yeah, now I really want to just cycle this cast out, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. Opponent just made all their land drops in their 2-lane hand. Are they committing this? That would be bad. Bad for me. Oh, dissolving the trigger. Okay, well, that seems strange. Why wouldn't you just dissolve the card? Or disallow, not dissolve. But, sure. You just want to get fancy and kill it with a red spell? I don't really get that, but okay. Maybe I'm supposed. I guess I'm supposed. I definitely want to leave in Noxious Gear Hulk. And I kind of want to cycle this cast out. I just so need to use these traverses. Yeah. If I just play 1-for-1 here against another Gear Hulk, it's not going to work. Not going to work. Okay, well, we found an answer to one, and we got to traverse here. Anything we find they have the option of disallowing Magma Spraying or Harness Lightninging. Not great. I'm going to get an Ishkana. Because I think that's one way I can get back into this game. I'm going to use this one to find something I can play with the Ishkana. Gnarlwood Dryad. And then I'm going to play Scrounger, and I'm going to Deliverance on their turn, see if they want to disallow that. Could see the Gear Hulk here. That would be fine. They get to attack me for 9, bring me to 1 with Fumarole if they wanted to. And then I can untap and play my stuff and hope that's good enough. Instead, they're anticipating. Another Magma Spray. Harness Lightning. I don't much care either way. Nothing. Okay. I will do this on their upkeep. I don't really want them drawing Censor if I don't need to let them. And that's what I have. Yeah, this is getting disallowed. They'll attack me to 5. But maybe Ishkana Dryad can get me back into this. Granted, I have let them see it, so they were able to anticipate knowing what is in my hand. Just try to dig for Harness Lightning or more Gear Hulks. Maybe Sweltering Suns, just to sweep everything away. But this is what we have. Not a bad draw there. We can draw a land next turn, start getting some card advantage. And again, we needed Delirium for all these things to work, so cycling the cast out I think was great. They have the Sweltering Suns. Yep. That'll do it. A little surprised to see Sweltering Suns in after sideboarding. A deck that's pretty good against it. And do I want to bring in some grasps for game 3? I have a lot of reactive cards already in my deck. With Cast Out, Deliverance, but a lot of them do cycle. So maybe I just want like 2 of them. And Sorin can also kill a creature. Maybe bring out a couple Dryads, some of my weaker things. Yeah, but my deck is so grindy with all these trackers and Eternal Scourge and Scroungers that I think if I can answer their stuff, I'm in good shape. So I'm okay having a lot of removal spells, especially when a lot of them cycle. Let's try it that way. Yes, I would like to play first. This is not a good hand. Just not functional. This hand is fine. Although, we're really not going to be able to scry, I guess. Awkward. I like that Scrounger, but I don't think it's worth not casting Scrounger on 2. Could find a Plains here to cycle Cast Out, but I don't know. I think I'd rather just get a Swamp. Black mana is so important. And I kind of like having the Cast Out in my hand anyway. And I can cycle Deliverance if I need to. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just draw another one. I'll probably draw 2 more. No Magma Spray, please. Thing in the ice. Oh, we have some answers to it. I will cycle Digging for a Land. Classic. I can find a Plains with that map, so that's nice, but we're ways away from casting Cast Out. Found the land, that's good. And I will play Grim Player. Wouldn't be surprised to see this get dissolved. Disallowed, sorry. I keep saying dissolve. Sure. We're on 3 card types in the graveyard, and we'll get to Delirium with this map, so don't really need to cycle Cast Out if we don't want to. Probably won't attack this turn, assuming my opponent's going to Glimmer. and then try to cast out while they're tapped out. Or just cast out on their end step this next turn. Oh, just a Magma Spray. Well, they have mana for any counter spell they want to cast here, so I'm just going to upkeep the cast out then. Cast this. And okay. Get their thing, that's not bad. We have 2 more creatures to reload with, an answer to a Gear Hulk. And they've yet to cast a card draw spell. Ooh, and Transgress is nice. Let's do that first. Especially because we don't have a land for Tracker. Get Transgress plus Scrounger. And hopefully this Scrounger doesn't get Magma Sprayed. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Glimmer here in response. And it looks like that's what we'll see. Yep. See how they... I guess it doesn't much matter how they handle the Scries, because we're about to see their hand. But we'll check. Bottom, bottom. 3 lands, Essence Scatter. Okay, then. I can avoid playing this Tireless Tracker unless they tap out. But their hand is pretty poor, and we have a threat on board and an answer, so not bad shape. We are low on resources. I guess they can actually activate Fumarole and block and still have Scatter up here, which is awkward. Is that what they're doing? Kind of a risky play for them to take, especially at 20 life. But that is a sign that they did not draw something else good this turn. But there's not really anything we can do about it. Yep. Would you like to trade? Oh, wow. They would like to trade. Interesting. Well, now, even though I don't have a land, because we know they have Essence Scatter, and I'm guaranteed a land next turn, I'm snapping off playing this Tracker. If they drew a Spray, there's no way they would have made that play. So the only thing I'm worried about is Spray off the top, Harness Lightning off the top, or if their last card is Harness Lightning, or a Gear Hulk. Please don't punish me. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh, I meant to crack this map on upkeep, that's why I set that stop, but that's fine. Get a forest, play it, get a clue. Okay, well, that is really surprising that they wouldn't do that on their turn to try to kill the Tracker. Okay, well, they gave us a free clue here. And we know they have Island Essence Scatter left in hand. So let's crack this clue, leave up mana for Liliana if we draw it. Scrounger, that's pretty good. Is playing the Scrounger better than returning that one? Yeah, I think so. If they want to Essence Scatter it, fine by me. Sure. Play another map. I'll remember to upkeep crack it this time. So we know they have an island in hand. And we're just going to start grinding them down with scroungers. There's the island. Oh. They're looking to race here. We have 5 card types, so I'm not worried about removing all of my creatures for these scroungers. Let's crack this map, get a swamp. We got 1 more basic left in our deck. Ooh. Fortunately, we don't have enough mana to Ishkanah plus Scrounger, but I think I'd rather Ishkanah as early as possible. They have to have another scatter here. I guess it's kind of likely that they've drawn another one if they used one on Scrounger. But if that's the case, yeah, so I can return 2 Scroungers. I just have the 2 other creatures. How does that race go for me? They attack for 4, bring me to 12. I bring them to 14, 8, 8, 4. They kill me in 4 turns, and I have to pass with them at 20, 14, 8, and 2. So they win the race by exactly a turn. How likely is it that they have an Essence Scatter? They used one really aggressively on this Scrounger, but they could have been just using it to set up this race. It's so much more likely that I end up getting hit by Disallow or Gearhulk if I wait. I'm just going to go for it. Maybe this is too aggressive. Should have left Plains up, by the way. Okay, it resolved. Perfect. Ishkanah is great. Yeah, given that the race turned out exactly in their favor, felt like that's why they were scattering. Okay, I will accept that. Still have 3 spiders around. Oh, and a traverse for another Ishkanah. Do I want to do that, or is now just time to scrounge? Because they can easily have a counterspell here. But if they have a counterspell, I'm fine with that. I could also just traverse for something else. Yeah, actually, traversing for Ishkanah doesn't sound great. Maybe I just want to traverse for Eternal Scourge. Maybe Grimflayer. Because if I get Ishkanah, then Sweltering Suns is just really good against me. Kind of regretting casting this at this point. I think I'll get the thing where Sweltering Suns isn't as good. I'll get a Grimflayer. Also helps me set up later draws. Is this a disallow? Sure. Cycling the land, I accept. Still have enough mana for a Gearhulk here. Let's bring back a Scrounger. Mushu. Do they draw the Gearhulk? They could, I guess, just block something with Femoral here. Yeah, looks like that's what they're doing. I have 1 basic left in my deck, so I definitely want to crack this map on my upkeep. Go 14. And we have them on a pretty good clock here with an answer for the next threat they play. So I really like our spot. Okay. That is a thing. I can draw a magma spray. Let's exile. I'm trying to think what I'd get back if I Liliana. I'm least likely to get back Grimflayer, I think. If I Liliana this turn, then I have a land for the tracker. Ooh, that's a good one. No cards in hand. Just got another Ishkana, I guess. Make sure they're dead next turn. I think I'll hold on to this land for a tracker. Maybe I should just get a tracker. It is bad against Sweltering Suns. Ishkana also not great against Sweltering Suns. They're at 11 here. If I get tracker, it's going to take me 2 turns to kill them. Whereas if I get Ishkana, they're just dead next turn. Yeah, I just want to put them dead. And yeah, I just want them dead. I'll hold on to this land for potential trackers, but it's also the 7th land for this Ishkana that will deal 7. One draw step, buddy. Hope it's a good one. It's not good enough. So, brought in some extra removal there. Our opponent didn't draw as many threats as they did in game 2. We were able to deal with all their threats and just out-card advantage them as they made a few extra land drops. That was game 3. They also just didn't really see their card draw spells, so a lot easier to out-card advantage them when they can't gain card advantage themselves. Pretty typical mid-range versus control matchup there, and another reason that the Delirium deck might be a pretty good choice going forward. The control decks are gaining some momentum in the metagame. People like them against Aetherworks. There are some people that swear that the Aetherworks decks are still good against blue-red control, but regardless of where that matchup lies, what you think of it, more people are playing control, so you're going to have to be prepared for it. These mid-range decks are pretty prepared, and maybe if you just build your Delirium deck as being as hateful against Aetherworks as you possibly can, then you're still good enough in the other matchups to compete. So hope you enjoyed seeing that one, and you can come back and see me on Friday. Bye.